Which Azure service would you use to deploy and manage virtual machines? A. Azure Functions. B. Azure Virtual Machines. C. Azure Kubernetes Service. D. Azure App Service. The correct answer is B. Azure Virtual Machines. Azure Virtual Machines is the service specifically designed for deploying and managing virtual machines. Azure Functions is for serverless computing. Azure Kubernetes Service is for container orchestration, and Azure App Service is for hosting web applications. You need to ensure high availability for your application hosted on Azure. Which service should you use to distribute traffic across multiple instances? A. Azure Traffic Manager. B. Azure Load Balancer. C. Azure Application Gateway. D. Azure Front Door. The correct answer is B. Azure Load Balancer. Azure Load Balancer distributes incoming network traffic across multiple instances to ensure high availability. Azure Traffic Manager is for DNS-based traffic routing. Azure Application Gateway is for web traffic load balancing, and Azure Front Door is for global routing and acceleration. A company wants to run containerized applications in Azure. Which service should they use? A. Azure Virtual Machines. B. Azure App Service. C. Azure Kubernetes Service. D. Azure Functions. The correct answer is C. Azure Kubernetes Service. Azure Kubernetes Service AKS is designed for running containerized applications. Azure Virtual Machines are for general-purpose VMs, Azure App Service is for web apps, and Azure Functions is for serverless computing. Which Azure service provides a platform for building, deploying, and scaling web apps? A. Azure Virtual Machines. B. Azure App Service. C. Azure Functions. D. Azure Kubernetes Service. The correct answer is B. Azure App Service. Azure App Service is the platform specifically designed for building, deploying, and scaling web apps. Azure Virtual Machines are for general-purpose VMs, Azure Functions is for serverless computing, and Azure Kubernetes Service is for container orchestration. You need to connect your on-premises network to an Azure virtual network. Which service should you use? A. Azure Express Route. B. Azure VPN Gateway. C. Azure Virtual Network. D. Azure Traffic Manager. The correct answer is B. Azure VPN Gateway. Azure VPN Gateway is used to connect on-premises networks to Azure Virtual Networks. Azure Express Route provides a dedicated private connection. Azure Virtual Network is the fundamental building block for private networks in Azure, and Azure Traffic Manager is for DNS-based traffic routing. Which Azure service would you use to create a private, dedicated connection between your on-premises network and Azure? A. Azure VPN Gateway. B. Azure Express Route. C. Azure Virtual Network. D. Azure Traffic Manager. The correct answer is B. Azure Express Route. Azure Express Route provides a private, dedicated connection between on-premises networks and Azure. Azure VPN Gateway uses the public internet. Azure Virtual Network is for creating private networks in Azure, and Azure Traffic Manager is for DNS-based traffic routing.